Alright, if you're a coach or a content creator currently stuck at around 10 to 15k per month, then you're going to be wanting to watch this video, because this is the reason why you haven't been able to get as many sales as you want. You haven't been able to scale to those 100k months like you would like to, or like you see all these other coaches or content creators posting 100k, 200k, even $1 million months just with selling their mentorship. If you're wondering why you're not at that point, listen up, because I'm going to be explaining exactly why, or the reason for that, in this video. And just cutting straight to the point, it's because of trust, okay? Your audience needs to trust you if they want to buy from you. You can have the best sales funnel, the best backend systems, even the best product and the best content, but if you don't have trust with your audience, they are just simply not going to end up buying from you. That's it. Trust is so important that it basically shaped who was going to become millionaires in 2025, and moving into 2026, it's going to be shaping who even gets to make money in the info space, right? It's now shifted from who's going to be the most successful to trust needs to be a prerequisite for your brand and your audience, for them to actually trust you if you even want to make any sort of money in the info space moving to 2026. Now, how do you actually increase trust with your audience? How do you build that as quickly as possible? All right, now there's three main ways that you can increase and build trust with your audience moving to 2026. Number one is going to be relatability. If you're making content that is only about flexing lifestyle, talking about how much money you make, talking about how much better you are than the rest of your audience and why they should listen to you, that is just not going to suit you well and do well for you moving into 2026. You need to be making content that makes you relatable to the average viewer. If you look at people who are blowing up in the info space right now, people like Brez, people like even recently TJR hosting crazy webinars, that sort of thing. These people are extremely relatable. They're doing things that seem kind of ridiculous when you're looking at their videos. Why is someone who's making all this money posting just their daily routine or information about what they just did yesterday? But the reason why they're doing that is because they're building relatability. If someone looks at this video and they're saying, hey, this person's not that much different from me, then they're going to be a lot more likely to watch more of it and relate more to that person. And when someone relates more to a person, they trust that person more, and they're more willing to take that next step and potentially pursue mentorship, because they know that this person isn't going to screw them over. They know they're somewhat legit, and they know that if they were to invest their money with this person, they're at least going to see some sort of return. I don't know that feeling of being scared to invest because they're going to get scammed or something like that. The next thing that's going to make you extremely trustworthy moving into 2026 and build trust with your audience is honesty. Think about how many content creators or coaches you see on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, and they're just not honest with their content, not telling you how it is. They're not showing you how much they actually make. They're not going in depth into what they do to make that money. It's just a very hazy sort of environment with the info space, with people trying to sell coaching, where no one really knows what the other person's doing. They say trading, they say dropshipping, but what are they actually doing? You can cut through the noise and position yourself as not only a person of authority in your niche, but also a person who someone can trust, an audience member can trust and relate to, by being honest, okay? Within your content, what do you need to be doing? Making content that's honest. How much do you actually make per month? If you're comfortable with saying that, of course. The most important things are, what do you actually do? What's the exact method that you've done to make your money? Be honest. If you make most of your money from selling courses, you need to actually say that, or at least do something to make sure that you're trying to make more money from the activity or the business model that you do. So many people have made $10,000 dropshipping or $10,000 trading one time, and then they flex that forever and make all of their money moving forward from courses. If that's you, you need to be honest. You need to be honest with your audience. You need to try and position yourself and move into someone who actually makes money from what they're selling. So honesty is so important when it comes to building your audience and building trust within your audience. So you're not doing something like showing people exactly what you do to make your money, showing them the exact method step by step, making videos like that, going in depth into how they can do the same, then people just aren't going to trust you as much because you're not being honest. Eventually what might happen, worst case scenario, is that someone finds out that you're not being honest, and that can very negatively influence your impact as a content creator and your reach. Finally, authenticity. This might seem similar to being honest and being relatable, but authenticity is more than that. It's about showing your audience who you actually are, not about flexing or following the most recent trend on social media. This is content that is just who you are. You don't care about trying to relate to them. You don't care about trying to be honest. It kind of goes above those things. It's just being who you are and honestly showing that to the camera. And this is a bit of a double-edged sword, because if you are authentically a scumbag, then it's not going to really show well with your audience, and it's kind of like the game's up, you've been exposed. But most of the time, if you're a regular human, your authentic side is going to shine through, and it's just going to show that you are just a regular person. Okay, yes, you have a very good work ethic and you've built yourself up to be in this position, but you're just like everyone else. Okay, and that content's going to influence your audience tremendously. It's going to be showing them, yes, you're honest, yes, you're trustworthy, yes, you're relatable, and you're being authentic. The content that you're producing is just genuinely how you feel about certain topics, and you genuinely trying to help your audience. So when it comes to posting content, when it comes to building an offer, you're always putting authenticity at the most important point when you're building this stuff out. It's so important that you're being authentic when you're creating content, when you're setting up an offer, when you're selling. You can never lose sight of that. So those are the three main things that are going to build trust with your audience. I wanted to make this video, just keep it quick and straight to the point, not yap on about a bunch of random stuff. This will genuinely help you increase trust within your audience, become honest, authentic, relatable with your audience, build a audience size of people who actually care about you and are invested in your journey and what you do. That's going to pay dividends again and again and again when you're trying to sell something like a coaching or a mentorship. So if you guys found that valuable information, check the link in the description. There's going to be a link to a page with a bunch more case studies from me and my business partner with our agency. If you want to talk directly one-on-one to us, click the link in the description and schedule a call.